Darshil, can you unmute yourself and read out the first few lines?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, please to read.
Flowers. Flowers are most beautiful and colorful part of a plant. They are reproductive part of a plant. Structure of a flower. Observation. Let let us examine a flower of what
Gulmohar.
is
Gulmohar.
gulmohar to know about the structure of a flower. The flower has a
Fairly.
fairly long stalk. This stalk is called pedicel.
Mm-hmm.
Other flowers parts arise at the end of the stalk.
Correct. Okay. All right. Fine. So thank you, Darshil. So let's just start with the beginning. We all know that the flower is the most colorful part of the plant. We know the reason why it is colorful and beautiful, right? Neha, do you want to share why is it beautiful and colorful part of the plant?
Yeah, ma'am, because some flowers will not be beautiful because it will be pollinated itself.
Mm-hmm.
Some are colorful because it is insect pollinator.
Very good. Excellent. So basically, to attract pollinators, it has to be colorful and look beautiful, right? As they say, more the merrier. More the colorful it is, more the bright color it has, it will attract even more insects. Remember, we had discussed in our earlier classes also, if not colors, a color flower could be bright orange in color, bright pink, dark pink, white. Even if it is white, then a beautiful shape and size of the petals. So even if not with colors, then it can also have fragrance, right? It can also through fragrance attract the pollinators. So basically its work of the petals is to attract the pollinators. Why do they need to attract the pollinators, Anjali? Can you please answer, why do they need to attract the pollinators? What is the need? Anjali, can you please unmute yourself and use the microphone? Anjali,
Ma'am,
yes, Vamika.
ma'am, I just joined, so what do we do then?
You have not missed much, Vamika. You have not missed much. We have just begun. We have just started with the first sentence, the first line of the chapter. Okay, so
Yes,
be
ma'am,
there.
and can I also share something?
Yeah, sure, please do.
Ma'am, last time you had told us to do this experiment, like to you know, put a plastic bag on a leaf. So
Correct,
I did
yes.
that,
Mm-hmm.
and like, ma'am, there were the next. I mean, after 3 4 days, there was like water droplets on the.
Oh, really? You
Uh,
really?
yes,
You
ma'am.
observed that? So did you take a picture of that? Did you take a snapshot of that?
No, ma'am.
Oh,
I
I so wish you had taken a picture. Then you could have also shared it here. All your friends could have actually seen a live experiment. That would have been really wonderful. So
Ma'am,
next
so shall I
time,
do it again?
yeah, please do that. That would be wonderful. In fact, Vamika is the only one who does whatever activities I ask all of you to do. Vamika is the only one who does it. I would feel really very happy and glad if all of you do these experiments. These are just little experiments which you can do it at home, right? So all of you must try it at home. All right. Neha, you too did. Okay, so you know what you should do? Either take a picture in the mobile or through a webcam of your laptop and try and share it with all of us so that all of us can actually see what they say in the science books, what they show in YouTube. In reality, does it actually happen or not?
But ma'am, the thing is, we cannot share our screen. That's the problem. Otherwise, we will be comfortable to share it.
Okay, then we will try and find out a way out. Maybe you can mail it across to me or something. We'll try and figure out, sending it to a UPrep team, and they can share it with me, which I can do a screen sharing and send it to all of you. We can find a way out. Okay. All right. Yes, Anjali, basically what I was asking is that why do they need the pollinators? Why do the flowers need to look beautiful to attract the pollinators?
Flowers are the most beautiful and colorful parts of a plant. They are a reproductive part of a plant.
See, basically what happens is that they need to attract the pollinators. This is for all of you. They need to attract the pollinators so that there is pollination happening and so that there is reproduction. If the plants do not reproduce, if the plants do not have, more of their own kinds, then the species will not grow. If there are 1,000 hibiscus plants in the planet, then it will remain as 1,000 only. With age, they will grow old and the plants will die off. So in the so as to reproduce, to grow their species in numbers, they have to reproduce. And to reproduce, they have to undergo pollination, fertilization, germination, and all those process. Correct? So that's a very important part and parcel of a plant's life. Now, coming to the reproductive part, why do we call it a reproductive part? Yashika, do you want to take up this question? Why do we call the flower as a reproductive part? By the way, thank you, Anjali, for your answer. Yeah, Yashika? Why do we call the flower as a reproductive part of a plant?
Because if there is no flower, there won't be any fruits or vegetables. And if there are no fruits or vegetables, there would be no seeds and no other plants would grow.
Yes, that ways you're right. If there is no pollination, then we'll not have fruits and vegetables. If there's no fruits and vegetables, no seeds. That is true. But why do we call flowers as a reproductive part? My question is different.
Because all of it starts from the flower.
Very good, because all the entire process starts from the flower. All the reproductive, if I may say, the reproductive parts are there within the flower. Within the flower, it's there. It's not there in the leaf, not in the stem, not in the roots, but only in the flower. So flowers, first and foremost, plants are very important, for the planet because they are the primary producers, especially the green plants. All of you must be knowing now that green plants are the most important living organism on this planet. If
Ma'am, I can ask one thing. Is there another point that all other parts are vegetative reproduction and flower is only the sexual reproduction? Is it another answer for it?
Yes, that is also another way to look at it. Why not? Flower is the only thing which does not go through a vegetative propagation. Apart from that, even a bud, even a fruit for that matter, right? Only the seeds can germinate. The stem, the leaf, the root can all propagate vegetatively. Correct? Okay, that's a good way to look at it, So basically, green plants are the most important thing on the planet because they have chlorophyll in them, right? And the moment anything has chlorophyll, that means they can make their own food. They can make their own food. And the moment they can make their own food, they don't have to be dependent on anything else. Rather, we have to be dependent on them. Be it, multicellular organisms, be it animals, be it birds, be it human beings. All of us are dependent on green plants. There are only two types of food that we eat. One belongs to the plant kingdom and the other belongs to the animal kingdom. There is nothing in between that we eat. It's either plants or animals. And just imagine if there were no animals, we could have still survived. But if there were no plants, can you imagine how we would have survived? It would have been so difficult for our survival. Isn't it? Okay. Just allow me a moment. Can I please take a call? Please allow me a moment. I'm so sorry. Okay. So going back to our chapter. All right. So today we will be studying the structure of a flower elaborately. Correct? Let us examine the flower of a gulmohar. All of you must have seen, a yellowish flower. Many a times it's also orangish, reddish orange in color. So basically these are gulmohar flowers, right? So gulmohar flower, why? Because a gulmohar flower has got all the four whorls. We will be discussing whorls today, right? I will be discussing whorls, but now to start off with, just take it into consideration that a gulmohar is a complete flower, and it is a very ideal thing to be studied upon or dissected upon, right? In case any
Ma'am,
of
may
you,
I say something?
yes, please do.
Ma'am, I wanted to say that can I say what are complete flowers and incomplete flowers?
Yes, please do. Please do.
So complete flowers have all four whorls, and incomplete flowers do not have all four whorls.
Right, very good. So in an incomplete flower, one or the other whorl will be missing. You're right. Okay, fine. Okay, so basically what happens is that if we take, if even if you have an hibiscus flower at home, I would suggest all of you should dissect a hibiscus flower. Then you will get to see all the four whorls very
Ma'am, you
clearly.
had told us to last time, but I do not have a hibiscus plant at my house,
Ma'am, I just have
and I
it
couldn't go out.
debuted.
So, ma'am, I watched it on YouTube. Is that
Okay,
fine?
Ma'am,
that
I just did it, and when I just cut it off through the space where it was having over and under, I just found like some like balls inside it. That is ovule, right?
that those are ovules. Correct?
Ma'am, then I found in that like filament when I cut into two pieces, I saw something like oily or sticky.
It is not oily, basically it is basically sticky because it has a lot of fluid. So I would suggest all of you have a look at a YouTube video where you just do a search on dissection of hibiscus flower, and after that you take a hibiscus flower, right? It is very easily available, or maybe any big flower which is a complete flower and a common flower, and then try and do a dissection at home. It will be very clearly visible, and it's very interesting also. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, to start off with, to continue, now basically, this part, the thing that we hold in a flower, the stalk that we call, is basically a pedicel, right? So, what is a pedicel? Pedicel is basically, we write pedicel as this pedicel, right? The stalk of the flower is basically known as the pedicel. Okay, all right. On that, on this pedicel, basically, all the four whorls are, they normally come up, right? So basically, this is the joining point from where all the petals, the sepal, the anther, the gynoecium, the androecium, everything arrives from there. All right. So now let's study what are the four whorls. As I said, there are four whorls. The first whorl are the calyx. What is calyx? Calyx is basic. Please, all of you, I would request you to write it down. Huh? So basically, calyx is a collection of sepals. Now, what are sepals? Sepals are this, right? Basically, the little tiny green triangular stuff that you see now, normally they are 5 or 6 in number, just next to the stalk, the little tiny green stuff, which normally when it is a bud, it remains closed. That is the sepal, right? And lot many sepals together, 4 or 5 sepals together, combined together, is known as the calyx. Correct? Now we come to number 2. Number 2 is known as corolla. What is corolla? Corolla is basically a collection of petals. So just above the sepals, you will find this colorful and this beautiful and this fragrant petals. Those are normally called the petals, as in a collection of petals are known as corolla. That's the second whorl. Which is the third whorl? The third whorl is known as androecium. What is andro? Andro means The male part.
Male part.
Yes, the male part. Now, how does an androecium look? Androecium looks very simple. It has a
Ma'am,
long,
it's the
slender.
filament and the
Correct. It has got a long, slender filament and it has got a anther at the top. So this is the anther and this is the filament. Most of you must have read this in your earlier classes. And the anther has got pollen sacs, which has got, a lot of those yellow color pollen in them, right? In a flower, normally you will find dust-like substances. Those are basically those pollens. Correct? So that's the third whorl. Now, which is the fourth whorl? The fourth whorl is known as the gynoecium.
Gynoecium.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am, which is the female part of the flower.
Yes, the gyne means female. Right now, the gynoecium is the most important part of